Hello everybody, this is Travis. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. We are having fun with Sparky tonight with the little quick bites. We're picking up from where we left off yesterday when I showed off this deck, but I didn't get a lot of the red cards out, so I wanted to every now and then.
Look, I'm a planeswalker.
Every now and then I make a deck and I show it off and I play 3, 4, 5 different rounds, and I still don't feel that I've accurately showed all that the deck can do. And so when that happens, sometimes I can spend a week just playing it over and over on Arena, but I've done that often enough that I don't think I need to worry about doing that anymore. So I did this with the original art deck where I played it for a week straight, and the most I could make the opponent do was maybe they would wait long enough for me to draw like 10 cards. And then they wouldn't wait around to see what I would do with the cards. They would scoop before they really saw the payoff. So I had to take that one out to Sparky just to show how you could actually use the cards once you got them. Just because the mere act of me... I don't want to block, I'll lose that, right? They've probably got a battle tactic. They're going to kill it anyway. Don't take the bait, fine, you die anyway. Okay, thank you. Fable of the Mirror Break. That's good. We'll have 2 of them because we didn't get to use these guys before. Yeah, I guess we block. They'll probably use a battle tactic. They're just going to use murder. Okay, that's good. We'll get it out of the way so Lisa can come out without being destroyed. Do we want to discard anything? No, I think we're fine where we're at for now.
Whoa.
Now Sparky could actually win if they had yet another removal spell handy. Alright, let's see, how do we want to do this? Do we want to put Kaya out now? I don't care about making him discard a card. I guess let's go ahead and return a card. To my hand. And then we'll go ahead and put it down. No attacks. We will let you through, because we can't beat you just yet. And they sacrificed the wrong one. Thank you, Sparky. That's okay. We're just trying to get these guys into place. Alright, we'll go ahead and start making copies. We can't copy the legendaries with Kiki Jiki. It's got to be non-legendary. So we can go ahead and attack with it. Don't matter. And we trick Sparky because Sparky's a bad player. Alright, but we get the card draw. And we'll leave it there just because if they're dumb enough to attack, I want to keep Lisa untapped. Because our life points do get low, and that has a tendency to happen. But now we can start doing some other stuff. And this is a token, so...
I like a plane where I can stick to the shadows.
Plus up the token.
I can teach you a thing or two.
Auto pay. We'll go ahead and tap her now because we got enough blockers. And we're done with that part. And now, oh boy, decline. Ratadrabic is here. Alright.
Fighting the undead is my specialty.
Kiki Jiki. Create the Blood-Tithe Harvester, sacrifice the Harvester, start getting rid of their opponents, activate the card draw. This is just one of the many engines within this entire deck, right? It's a known one. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, once you get a reflection of Kiki Jiki out, can constantly make a copy every single turn of the Blood-Tithe Harvester, give us additional blood tokens no matter how big their creatures get. We can just sacrifice the token that we created of the Harvester, and it'll do twice the number of blood tokens to minus them.
I can see your hand.
And that's going to be real easy for us. So that's just one aspect, but plus it's really cool when we have the Morbid Opportunist out as we do it, so we're guaranteed a card draw every time. Now, what other stuff can we do? We can do all sorts of stuff. So like here, we can do Harvester again. We can use Jaxus. We don't need 2 copies of Jaxus, so we're going to make another copy of Harvester as well. We're going to discard Jaxus. And now we have 2 of these puppies. Sacrifice.
Oh.
Get the card draw. Sacrifice. Just thin out the herd. And we can do close up on the token.
Just how I showed you. You got this.
Alright, so that's one neat thing that we can do. What else can we do? We can do this with Ratadrabic. We're going to -2 to Kaya, so if one or more tokens would be created, we're going to create twice as many.
Oh, give
We're
up
going to bring
already.
this down.
You're outnumbered.
We're going to go ahead and keep the new guy. We operate the triggers. Whenever it dies, you create a non-legendary token, and it goes back into our hand, and we get card draw. So this is a fun little engine. Because of Kaya, we created 2 copies instead of 1. We got our card draw from the Opportunist. No attacks, just because I want to keep this simple for everybody to keep track of. And we get the card we just sacrificed back. So we've created a nice little loop here. We'll go ahead and plus this up again, just because we're here.
Need a weapon?
Let's see.
I got plenty.
Target opponent chooses their... Yeah, let's go ahead and just make them show us their hand. We'll do all 3 chapters of Cruelty. Battle tactic. Okay, good to know. Okay, next. Let's do this again. We'll just keep the original this time. Doesn't matter. Now, the copies of Ratadrabic operate on this the same way the original does. So now we have 3 triggers for Ratadrabic rather than 5. Zombie, 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 zombie. Card draw. Still get the original copy that died that we put down, the duplicate copy back. And you see, we've used just Ratadrabic's ability with a second copy in Liesa to make multiple copies of the same guy. How long can we keep this up? Well, we can keep this up for quite a bit. But we're going to start to have some fun here. Do I want to put Braids into the equation or Sheoldred? You always kill them too quickly with Sheoldred. Let's do Braids. Okay, so down to 4 life. We'll put Braids down. We put il-Kor down, and we put down Liesa this time.
Wow.
Keep the original. Now look at all the copies that we have. Because now we have il-Kor. Whenever a creature you control dies, comes into the mix. We have all the copies of Ratadrabic. And we have still our card draw. 10 triggers now. These are all permanent copies that hang around. How do you like those potatoes? And we got we got Sheoldred anyway. Let's auto pay. How many do we need to tap? Just one. Tap another one. Tap another one. And you notice because of il-Kor, we don't need to worry about our health. We don't even need to worry about attacking this entire time. Alright. Plus up. We're going to plus up one of the other tokens for a change.
I can teach you a thing or two.
We get Liesa back, thanks to the other Liesa's ability. And we can sacrifice somebody. Let's just sacrifice one Liesa.
Oh.
And they lose another creature. Alright, now we have Sheoldred. And we have basically the entire circuit. We have all the creatures that we really need here now. Okay, put a creature. There we go. Let's keep the original. Triggers from the Enchantment Saga, just firing off. Look at all this. 15 triggers now. We can't stop it. We can't help it. It's going to be closer to 30 because il-Kor triggers a life gain for every copy that we get in. There's no regular player, I think, that's going to sit through this. This is why I had to go to Sparky. If we show even the slightest hint of any one of these things, they would be giving us trouble. Okay, so I don't want to discard cards. What I want to do is use illicit shipment, use the casualty, get rid of the 3 token that we just had, and go search for a couple of cards. We get to choose 2 cards. We're going to go get Cut of the Profits.
Good. Real good.
And what else could we get? We kind of already have everybody, don't we? I guess we'll get Braid's Frightful Return. Alright, put down the land. Use Braid's Frightful Return. Start from the top. Sacrifice an extra creature, because who cares? And really, we've got what's called a plethora, an embarrassment of riches, because we have gone through half of our deck already. We could search for 2 more specific cards of anything we wanted, but we really have everything we already want. We've got legendary creatures to spare that we could put out at any one time, and we've got a way to win immediately with Cut of the Profits and Sheoldred. So we'll do that next turn. But what we can do right now, let's see. What do we want to do? There's so many options. We could start discarding cards with Jaxus and creating creatures. We could be creating copies with Kiki-Jiki. We could be sacrificing stuff with Braid.
I hope you win too.
And creating more copies with Radadravik. I guess let's go ahead and we'll do this. Oh, we'd have to auto pay. Okay, never mind. We've done enough this turn. Here, let me just do that.
Oh, I've got the perfect tools for the job.
We get Jaxus back into our hand. No, we don't need to sacrifice anything. Okay. Now we get to have some fun. Jaxus. Kiki-Jiki. Kiki-Jiki can't do legendary. They can only do unlegendary, right? But Jaxus can do whatever the heck she wants to. So, we're going to copy Sheoldred. We're going to discard a card. We're going to keep Sheoldred. We're going to operate all these triggers. We're going to gain life from all the copies that we just made of Sheoldred. And all the card draw that we're getting. Okay, now we've got 7 Sheoldreds. How much mana do we have? We've got 7, 10. Okay, so now we're going to do cut of the profits. How many cards do we have? We have 27. Okay, so I don't want to do more than 8 anyway, so 8 is fine. We're going to do casualty. And I still messed up because I could have had extra Sheoldreds, because I could have doubled it and created twice as many tokens by -2 on Kaya. So I actually messed up the demonstration a tiny bit. But oh, here we'll do 19. We're do so 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll do 9, and we'll do it for the casualty cost. We'll sacrifice. We'll auto pay. We'll sacrifice Liesa, and we're going to draw 18 cards. And we wait for the machine to catch up with us. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of, look at that, how many, there were over 50 triggers. This reminds me a little bit of the Scoot Swarm issues, where they eventually had to end up creating a limit of 250 tokens, and we couldn't get any more. But here you see I got 9 cards left. We're in danger of decking ourselves. We're still waiting for all of the copies of Sheoldred to catch up to us. And I guess, instead of discarding everything, we'll just plus up, make all our creatures gain Death Touch, and now everybody can attack.
Need a weapon? I got plenty.
And we didn't need to attack at all, because we could have just sat there and let it die from the -2 card draw from having 7 Sheoldreds out. So there's multiple ways to win, there's multiple ways to kill your opponent. Ta-da!
Nice job.
I don't relish beating up on Sparky like that, but, you know, it was kind of necessary. We had to do it to show off the deck properly. So here you see at the end, even though we kept sacrificing them, we had a number of copies of Liesa, it's awesome to get a whole bunch of flying lifelinkers, right? We had 4 extra copies of Ratadrabek here that were non-legendary. We ended up with 4 extra copies of Jaxus. And we used a couple copies of Kiki Jigi to create extra copies of Sheoldred. So we had half a dozen copies of Sheoldred. So this particular combination of cards, the focus of which is Ratadrabek, we can create copies of everybody, right? Let me go ahead and we'll leave the match and we'll go in and just show you the deck view one more time. So it's a bit of jank. It's a little bit more complicated than your average deck. This is not where you just turn your card sideways and attack the face, although we could have a long time ago. If you run into a difficult opponent that manages to stave you off for a long time, it does give you an opportunity to put the engine in place. If they don't realize exactly what you're achieving, what you're doing, and they don't have a tool to stop it, you can have a board state like that. But the fact is, most people don't have the patience for that kind of battle. So Token Legends is the name of the deck. And the deck list is below for you to copy. If you take it out, I would recommend you practice run on Sparky a few times, just to get used to everything that you can do with this. This is one of the more versatile decks that I have seen. And I don't know how related it is to other decks. I know that this was originally from a deck that beat me, and I put in what I thought made sense, and once I understood what they were doing, I don't know if I put in, like, I don't know if all of these cards are the same. but I know I had 3 copies of Ratadrapic, and I was looking for an excuse to create a deck around him, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. And somebody came in with Sheoldred and Jaxus and Liesa and Braids and just completely devastated me. And so I put in a few other things. You know, I don't think Bloodtide Harvester was in there necessarily. I don't remember if Morbid Opportunist was in there or if I put her in there, that kind of thing. But it's just a fun deck. There's all sorts of neat combinations. You can really, as you saw, you can go to round 4 or 5 without doing much of anything and then just start taking over. And it doesn't necessarily matter that you go down to 5 life points or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. You know, we've got enough removal in here. We've got the Go for the Throat. We've got Sheoldred's Edict. We've got the Path of Peril. You know, it seems to be enough. And you've got a way that you can win with card draw. You can get just about any card draw that you want. Once you have Sheoldred down and you can casualty Cut of the Prophets, by that time you're bound to have enough mana. You can draw any amount of cards that you want and do anything that you want after that. And you saw we had so many choices on what to do with the circuit that we created. We had Ratadrapic, we had Liesa, we had Braids. We could sacrifice anything we wanted at any second of the time. Since we had all the legendaries down, we can put copies of them down. We could double the tokens that we created if we wanted to. And using Fable and Mirrorbreaker and Jaxus, we could basically create a copy of anybody, create 2 copies of anybody if we had Kaya down at the same time, and just sit there and let the triggers go. And it doesn't matter if it's Sheoldred's card draw trigger, or the life gain from creature entry, or the life loss for the opponent from creatures dying, or the simple well-known one of Bloodtide Harvesters creating extra blood tokens all the time and getting rid of their opponent creatures. So many options here. I hope that this little demonstration with Sparky actually covered just about everything, every aspect that we could do in terms of searching out the specific cards that we want, drawing as many cards as we want at any time, having the removal pop up with enough frequency that we don't need more of it in the deck, that it's enough to have 63 cards. And if we do get stalled out trying to get particular mana, we do have, we've got Fair Basilica there, we've got the 2 Dross Pits there, and we've got 2 Autonomous Furnaces there. So we've got 5 cards in there that we can use for card draw if we slow down and get stalled out in the mid game. So with that, I feel really much better than yesterday, because we couldn't get people to stick around very long, and we just really didn't run across the red cards that much. There are only 2 basic red cards in there. I'm not counting the Harvester, and we got a lot of the other stuff out that we could demonstrate. And I think il-Kor was demonstrated often enough yesterday, and Braids, and we mixed it in a little bit with Liesa and a little bit of Sheoldred. But yeah, this really showcased what we could do with Fable, the Mirrorbreaker, and Jaxus combined with the Ratadrapic's engine. So let me know what you think. Is anything confusing? Is anything complicated? Did I misexplain anything? Is there something that you would like better in the deck that you think, whether it makes it more complicated or simpler, that you think would make it more fun? Because basically I'm looking at creating a copy of just about anything that I want to for any effect that I want at any given time. And it's like being a kid in the candy store with having so many options. You have to slow down and figure out, what exactly do I really want out of this turn? And because you've got like 3 or 4 different things you can do. And you're starting to feel almost like you're a blue control player, right? With all the options and flexibility and effects that you can create. So we'll leave it there. Remember to like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Have a good one.